I'm not quite sure how I feel about this news. And when that's the case, what I like to do is make a list of pros and cons, and then we can decide how we feel about it together. All right, so pro, it's Ewan frickin' McGregor. Who doesn't love this face? Con, well, you're not gonna see it because Black Mask looks like this. And bless his heart, Ewan McGregor's voice isn't one of his best assets. I mean, it's a lovely, soft, charming, warm voice, right? But on that note, he certainly doesn't sound like a villain. In fact, I'm pretty darn sure he's never played one. I mean, maybe he did at some point in his career, but nobody knows about it. I'm sure except maybe one of you who's furiously typing right now. All right, pro! Ewan McGregor has long been Team Disney, but what does he have to show for it, except some lovely movies? I'm talking, though, of course, about a freaking Obi-Wan movie, right? Where the heck is that thing? Well, maybe it's time he made the mouse a little jealous, because this is his second upcoming Warner Brothers project after Dr. Sleep, where he plays a grown-up Danny Torrance, where that's excellent casting. I'm sure about that. That's going to be great. All right, so con. Have you seen Ewan McGregor's box office numbers? They are shockingly poor. Shockingly. I'm just going to leave them up here for a moment so you can look at them with absolute shock. I mean, I think it really shows how good his representation is that they can continue to get him top-notch gigs with these box office numbers. I mean, if I were a studio exec, I'd be like, I love him too, but it seems that nobody wants to pay to see him. Okay. Or at least, I don't think he discourages people from buying a ticket. Obviously, as you can see, he has some real hits there. But he doesn't really light a fire under moviegoers either. All right, which I find weird, because he lights a fire under so many of us, right? All right, although maybe some of you are like, I'm one of the people who's not on the Ewan McGregor train. All right, so pro, Black Mask is a new villain to mainstream audiences, right? So Ewan McGregor will get to define the character. He doesn't have to compete with a previous interpretation, right? Which has undone a couple of actors that we know about, right? But con, Black Mask is most famous, or should I say infamous in the comics, for his use of torture. In fact, his most iconic moment is when he force-fed Selena Kyle's sister the eyeball of her husband, who was still alive and in front of her. I'll never forget it, right? And I thought, at the time that I read it, I was like, oh, I really respect this comic for going there, right? But the more I think about it, the more, you see some disturbing headlines in the news, you're more like, I don't really know if that should be entertainment, right? I'm sure some of you might be like, oh, but it is, Grace, or like, I'm not sure how you could actually justify that, but at the same time, how big of an audience would be interested in that, and how many people would say, you know what, maybe we won't go, right? That's like, especially in such a competitive marketplace these days, it's something to consider. And especially with the R rating that's been confirmed for Birds of Prey, Black Mask being in the movie could make it less Logan Deadpool and more Natural Born Killers. And to be fair, Natural Born Killers did open at #1, but it only made it to $50 million total. Sure, that was $1994, but methinks that's still not an impressive number, even if you were to adjust it for inflation. All right, pro! You guys, this is great, okay? Some of you are going to be triggered. All right, so pro, he'll get to spend more time with his girlfriend, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and also act with her again, as they did on Fargo, right? And to support her creatively and with her career, because her career is not going so well. So he can add some star power to this movie. I mean, it does seem a little bit like a favor to her, right? Help her out a little bit. I'm sure she was like, and you'll get to be with me on set all day. I don't know why someone was like, hey, Ewan, you know what they say about couples who work together, right? It doesn't always turn out so great for everybody. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, some of you might be like, but Grace, they broke up, because last time I mentioned this, some of you said, oh, they broke up. I haven't seen any evidence of them not currently dating. But they could break up, and that's where we get into the con. What if they break up? I mean, it would be horrible if they broke up before the movie started to shoot, because I wouldn't want to deal with that drama on set, right? I'd be like, use it, Ewan and Mary, right? Use it as you play adversaries. Maybe it'll make their performances even better. I mean, they're both talented actors. But anyway, even if they stay together. Either way, they'll both be asked. I can guarantee this, nonstop on the press tour. I mean, the Warner Brothers could say, please don't do it. And Ewan McGregor, who I've interviewed, is really tough. He might simply refuse to answer those questions. But they'll just target Mary Elizabeth Winstead because she's the softer target, right? The easier target. But they're going to be asked, or at least there'll be speculation and commentary about the fact that they had an affair on the set of Fargo, causing him to leave his family and divorce his wife. And his wife and his family were very angry about this. Like some of you have said, it's none of our business, Grace. But when you talk, that seems a little bit hypocritical to me when so many people are talking about, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, right? I mean, how is that a different situation if you're going to go and you're going to condemn Johnny Depp? I mean, obviously that was a situation with physical violence, but, Ewan McGregor did cheat on and leave his wife, right? And his wife was very angry about it, and his daughter was particularly angry about it, his eldest daughter, who attacked Mary Elizabeth Winstead publicly, verbally attacked her publicly. I mean, she did kind of recant that because I'm sure she wants to continue to have a nice relationship with her father, or at least realize that she does, because this is just what's happening. But it's a public relations nightmare. So I don't know why Warner Brothers wasn't like, do I want my movie to have this as part of the background? As we all know, it's just too big of a headline not to include. All right, so at the end of the day, I'm feeling this is the wrong actor and the wrong villain for the film. But I'm open to having my mind changed, largely because I still like Ewan McGregor so much. He just seems like such a nice guy. Look what he did to his family. And I still think he's a nice guy. So I'm having a hard time believing that I can buy him as a villain. But maybe, we'll see, right? I mean, I think he kind of was villainous in Fargo, but he was a villain who believed what he was doing was right. I mean, maybe that's the spin he'll take with Black Mask, but I don't know how compelling that will be. Also, if you can't see Ewan McGregor, I don't know. I'm not totally into Radio McGregor. I think there are actors out there who have better voices, but I like him so much. All right, so what do you think? Do you have any pros and cons to add below? Share those thoughts down below, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.